Now it's the turn of the elite men and a race between what is arguably the most open and competitive field ever assembled. Race favorites include three-time World Cup winner Tim Don, current ITU World #1 Hunter Kemper, and European champion Frédéric Belaubre. Some names that also stand out in the stellar field are Olympic champions Hamish Carter and Simon Whitfield, and past world champions Bevan Docherty and Ivan Dragna.
Our elite men now making their way out onto the pontoon. It is a very, very hot day here, 95 plus degrees Celsius. Our elite men now taking the pontoon. It is a huge field here, 2 laps, 750 meters each. The 26-degree water temperature will not be allowing wetsuits today. American Hunter Kemper, who has traveled much more than he has ever done in the past, blowing a kiss to his wife, who has come here to wish him best of luck. Tim Don looks in great spirits as well, as the elite men now are just into the final seconds of preparation. Brad Caulfield, one of the last Australians to make the team, has been in fantastic form. And Peter Robertson just being added to the World Championship selection in just the last few days. Robertson not having a great season and going to try to make the most of it. The man who has 2 golds and 2 silvers in the past, trying to see if that magic can happen one more time here in Gamagori. A huge crowd of Japanese spectators have made their way out here to support both the under-23s, the juniors, and the elites. And we're off. The start of the 2005 ITU Elite Men's Race. And if past history tells us anything, Andy Potts from the United States of America likely to be taking out very quickly. About 90% of the races that Andy Potts is in, he has been the first man out of the water. If not himself, the great Craig Walton has virtually been the only other man to beat him out of the water at World Cup racing. It is 300 meters straight down, but with a large field of men, they are going to converge at the far end and have to make a hard right-hand turn. And this will be the most deciding factor early on in the race, as right now Andre Raelert from Germany pushing the pace very quickly. New Zealand's Nathan Richmond, who has not swam well through most of the season, went back home to both New Zealand and spent a little bit of time as well on the Gold Coast of Australia, changing his swim stroke around, he told me, in his preparation. And right now Nathan Richmond is sitting in 3rd place as our athletes come through the 300-meter mark here. And you can see just how aggressive that is out there. 75 men, and they are very tightly bunched together. Kasaba Couture from Hungary sitting right now in 3rd place as we move up. And I believe that is Andre Raelert from Germany pushing the pace right there. Courtney Atkinson sitting back in 3rd place as well. So the Australian sitting in a very solid position, the man that won the Ishigaki World Cup race earlier this year. A great shot from the boat looking back to the stadium, and that stadium has held many World Cup races over the years, but none as important as this World Championship for 2005. They'll be coming to the end of 750 meters up the ramp, and they'll dive back into the water. The first of the athletes, and I believe that's Andre Raelert from Germany, first to come in, so he is very tightly bunched together as he goes back into the water at the end of 750 meters. We take a look now as our men are making their way through. Simon Whitfield had a great opening swim. He's in about 5th spot as he goes through right there. Courtney Atkinson as well. Picasso Hirano from Japan in, and you can see how tightly bunched the men are as they come through. It is 750 meters down. They're just over 9 minutes through the first 750, so some very fast swimming here at the 2005 ITU World Championships. Our elite men will come out of the water and then start their first of 7 bike laps. Very flat, each one of the laps, 17 corners, so significant will be your bike handling skills going around those corners. Less than 100 meters to go now from the end of this 1,500-meter swim. And it looks like Richard Stannard from Great Britain, the swim specialist, has exerted his force here. It's going to be just about 18 minutes and 46 seconds as they hit the shore and come up the ramp. Stannard from Great Britain just on his feet. Andre Raelert from Germany. Courtney Atkinson just coming out of the water right there. I can see Hamish Carter, Olympic Games gold medalist. Paulomir Shiro, Simon Whitfield, Philip Ospoli just coming out of the water as well. Terenzo Bazzani, the young Kiwi, coming out just at the 19-minute mark. Very closely bunched together. That is Rich Stannard heading off right there on the left side of the screen. Andre Raelert on the right. Courtney Atkinson trying to get into his bike and get out onto the course. Vladimir Porlokopinko sitting into that spot as well. And the very strong man from Estonia, Marco Albert, just getting onto the bike as we speak. They have just been all in excess of 19 minutes. Just coming onto the ramp right there out of the water is Peter Robertson, who is sizably back. We can see right now 18:45 for our leader out of the water. A large group of men, including the very strong cyclist Frank Binet. Nathan Richmond with one of his best swims of the year as he's come out of the water.
NHL on OLN Wednesday, Rangers Flyers, 7 p.m. Eastern.
Lots of Wi-Fi users work in coffee shops, which aren't always the best places to work. Wouldn't it be great to work wherever you wanted instead of only in hotspots? Now you can with Verizon Wireless Broadband Access. Wi-Fi only works in limited locations, while Broadband Access is the nation's largest high-speed wireless broadband network and is expanding coast to coast. Now get unlimited access at a great price, so you won't get stuck in a not-so-hot spot. Verizon Wireless, we never stop working for you.
We are the men and women of the United States Army Reserve. We are regular people who share our time serving our country and our communities. Our training makes us stronger as soldiers and as citizens who stand ready.
To find out how you can serve your country in the Army Reserve, call 1-888-624-ARMY for this free DVD and get a free sports watch. Stand ready in the Army Reserve.
Working from home changed my life.
It all started when I was referred by this free service.
With all the money I made working from home, I bought a new home. This is the one website you have to visit.
Put your computer to work now.
All you need is a computer and a little belief in yourself.
I'm making $5,000 a month.
I make over $7,000 a month working part-time.
I love the lifestyle my home business offers, and the money's great too.
Log on to 8worknow.com.
Unlike the women's race where we had a small breakaway group of 5, right now the lead group is 25 athletes as they are coming back towards the end of lap 1. On the opposite side of the road, another chase group of about 8, and Peter Robertson into that chase group right now. The 2005 ITU Elite Men's Race, they will have 7 laps through the downtown streets of Gamagori, and some of the strongest cyclists will have to exert themselves here very quickly because we know that the heat and humidity of Japan really can take its toll on the run course, so the big strong men will have to make their time very early on this bike if they do want to get away. Frank Binet now coming into the stadium, the man who has won many bike preems over the years from France, has certainly the strong biking pedigree that if he wants to help lead a breakaway on this course, he has the capacity. He, along with Marco Albert from Estonia and a couple of our other athletes who have been notorious over the years for trying to make breakaways. And when we look back here to Chase Pack, down by almost 75 seconds already. Australian Peter Robertson just coming to our screen right there along with Sven Reeder. So Robertson going to have to make up some time as they are not on to the back of that large main pack yet. A 19:30 swim for Peter Robertson, putting him about 40 seconds down. But you can see right now this lead group not working very efficiently, and that is giving an opportunity for athletes who did not have great swims to start to catch on. And we're looking right now at nearly 40 men that'll be coming into the stadium. There'll be the bike preem as they come through right now, and the classic specialists on the bike in the past have included Marco Albert from Estonia, Frank Binet from France, and Olivier Marceau, three of the men who have outstanding cycling pedigrees, and they'll be coming along the side of the stadium, making a hard left-hand turn, and then 300 meters in front of the grandstands to find out the bike cream leader. We're here at the 2005 ITU Elite Men's Race in Gamagori, Japan. It is the World Triathlon Championships. They'll be coming across the finishing line area here for the bike cream. They'll be setting themselves up for the sprint. And there they are. Binet up and pushing very quickly. Olivier Marceau coming out on the hard left side of the screen. It looks like Marceau just by a quarter of a wheel. Olivier Marceau taking the bike cream right there. And that man has had an outstanding past career, 2 Olympic Games, a World Championship gold medal at the 2000 Games in Perth, Australia. So Olivier Marceau certainly no stranger to the front of the pack, as he has not been racing much in the World Cup circuit this year, and good to see him back at the World Championships. A very large group of men coming through right now. Hunter Kemper and Andy Potts going through right there. So the 2 Americans who have classically been off the front in World Cup races right now going to have a different strategy, as we will likely see 45 to 50 men coming off the bike to start this 4-lap, 10-kilometer run. And you have to believe now things are starting to fall into place for the likes of people like Tim Don, Philip Ospoli, who has been running incredibly well this year, Hamish Carter, who has a 2nd, a 3rd, a 4th, a 5th, a 6th, and a 7th at World Championships, but never a number 1 top of the podium. And you have to believe that Hamish Carter, in this, his 13th and last World Championships, would very much like to go out on top, and he has come in great running form. Looks the lightest that I've seen him in a number of years, and Hamish Carter in great spirits and expecting a lot from himself today. You can see the width of this pack right now. They are not going very quickly, and this has continued to work into the hands of some of the athletes who had weak swims. Peter Robertson has now caught into this lead group. Sven Reeder as well into that group. One of the athletes who we think will have a significant day out there includes Simon Whitfield, who has not raced much this year but is in great form, just having come off his. And there they go, down into the crash. It looks like Andrew John, Sven Reeder as well. They're just coming to the end of our 7-lap, 40-kilometer bike ride. And if you take a look right there, it looks like Sven Reeder just going down. Andrew Johns being taken down as well. Greg Bennett having to avoid that crash. I'm not sure who else may have gone down into that group, but here they come. They'll be coming off the bikes now to start their 4-lap, 10-kilometer run out of the shoes. They will then have a havoc 50-plus men coming into the transition zone. That is a lot of bodies trying to find their shoes to get rid of their bikes and get ready and start. And you can see them right now coming off the bikes. We have just over an hour and 25 minutes, so they've got 30-plus minutes of racing here. And now the real factor, the heat and humidity, the runners. Greg Bennett just about went down, so Bennett is back, and he will have to work himself back through this group right now. Hirano from Japan just into that group, and you can see it is absolute havoc into there as the shoes are coming on, getting ready to start their 4-lap, 10-kilometer run. Hunter Kemper now in a legitimate chance to maintain that #1 ranking. Andy Potts into that group, not as well known for his running abilities, but heading off to the front right there. John Frodano really pushing the pace, the big, strong German who had a bronze medal performance at the World Cup race in Mazatlan earlier this year in great spirits. Terenzo Bazzani heading off. I can see Brad Kohlfeldt into that group. Hamish Carter's into that lead group as well. Cedric Fleureton. Peter Robertson just going through there, so Robertson's in a great spot. Chris Gimmel has had a very solid swim bike because Gimmel has had some stomach problems that he picked up in one of the World Cup races in the last month or two, and he's been traveling and having to deal with a body that's less than 100%. So Chris Gimmel is going to have an additional problem to deal with, and that's the heat and humidity.
Welcome to Ranger Country, where the redesigned Polaris Ranger with available electronic fuel injection outruns, outcarries, outhauls, outpulls, and outrides every utility vehicle out there. The Polaris Ranger, now with available electronic fuel injection. The hardest working, smoothest riding off-road utility vehicle you can buy.
Class of 94, here I come.
When you want to make a good impression, Enterprise Rent-A-Car will pick you up free and get you going in style.
Looking good, News.
Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
Well, now, where's the fire, boys? Oh, fresh toasted sandwiches.
Well, get those babies home before they get cold.
Fresh toasted sandwiches from Subway restaurants.
I'm hungry. You hungry?
Sponsors of Greg Biffle and Car 16.
Over the past year, the Federal Reserve has increased interest rates numerous times. There's nothing to worry about if you're already locked into a low fixed-rate mortgage. But if you have an adjustable rate, you have to ask yourself, where is my monthly payment headed? Want peace of mind? Lock in a new low fixed-rate home loan from Ditech.com while rates are still near their 2-year lows. What's going to happen to your payment? It's your choice. Log on to Ditech.com or call 1-800-71-FIXED.
If you owe over $10,000 to the IRS or state, call American Tax Relief for a free consultation.
I thought I was going to lose my business, but American Tax Relief got me a second chance.
Call 800-716-6823 for your free consultation.
Frodano pushing the pace up front, and I can see Peter Robertson now just starting to make his move. Robertson sitting back in about 4th spot right now. Terenzo Bazzani sitting up right now in 2nd spot. The young man who's a 2-time World Junior champion up racing with the big boys, and the young Kiwi in an outstanding position. Caulfield right there, the man who just missed the World Cup victory in Tisavares in that fantastic sprint finish. And Peter Robertson now going to the lead. And he has exerted the same kind of style that we have seen him do on so many occasions. Sprint off, surge at the front, see how many athletes he can break. Robertson, I talked to him just before he got into the race, and he said that he really is less than 100%, that he had 1 hour of redlining in his body, and the less that he had to use throughout the swim of the bike, the better he felt his chances when he got out onto the run. I see Hamish Carter into that group. Tim Don just trying to tack on to the back right now as he is coming through. The Americans sitting sizably back right now and having some struggles, Hunter Kemper and Andy Potts. But already look at the acceleration as Peter Robertson has dropped Brad Caulfield, Hamish Carter, Rito Hugh, Philip Ospeley into that group, Simon Whitfield. These are the best of the runners in the sport. And the little man who was not even on the Australian team just 2 weeks ago got a call after Simon Thompson and Craig Walton could not answer the call with illness. Peter Robertson lucked out, got on to the team, and he said he's going to try to make the most of it. He has 1 race a year that he just empties the tank. And Peter Robertson, with 2 golds and 2 silvers since the 2000 World Championships, is really on fire right now. And whether or not he is playing poker and trying to accelerate off the front without the right kind of fitness to back it up, we're going to see. But he'll be looking over his shoulder as Robertson has opened up already a 15-second lead on a chase group of the who's who and the men on the I2 World Cup circuit.
They're strong, smart, and crafty enough to have survived this long.
I'm not here because anybody carried me along.
Now it's down to the wire.
I'm almost there.
The final episodes of Survivor Africa.
All I had to do is vote 1 time and get you off.
Leading up to the one hot, decisive night for the real cool million. Followed by the reunion show.
I'm a goat farmer, not a rocket scientist.
Then catch the survivors back from Africa.
I stole Clarence's war paint.
Survivor Africa final episodes begins next on OLN. This is their world, with 31 points of view you've never heard, past 31 borders you've never crossed, and 31 histories you need to know. That's 31 ways to see it through their eyes. Experience the world beyond our borders. 31 shows, 31 nights. Now is the time to globalize yourself. All this month, only on History International. Call your cable or satellite provider.
Alaska. I heard her voice calling. Come and see. If you can't find me, I'll have gone.
Call for your free Alaska vacation planner. 1-800-952-3555. Alaska. Beyond your dreams, within your reach.
To Alaska.
you can get in great shape, build muscle, and you can do it fast. All you have to do is dial it up. Turn up the results with the Bowflex Select Tech free weight system. Now you can dial up the weight you want, anywhere from 5 to 52.5 pounds on one single dumbbell. Want 15 pounds? Just turn the dial to 15 and start lifting. Ready for 40? All it takes is the turn of a dial. Now you can get powerful biceps, a sexy core, even chiseled legs in an easy 30-minute workout. Call now to order your Bowflex Select Tech free weight system for no money down and payments as low as $5 a month. Order now and we'll include this free DVD, Secrets of the 4-Step Rep, that teaches you perfect free weight techniques. It's time to turn up your results. Call and get your Bowflex Select Tech for just $5 a month today.
You can see some of the best runners the sport has ever seen now, all running side by side. Fleuriton from France, closest to us. Brad Caulfield in the middle of the screen. Hamish Carter now trying to start to accelerate. The Olympic Games gold medalist, and this his last World Championships in all likelihood. He's been to 13 Worlds. And Hamish Carter would desperately love to add to his second and third place medals a goal to have the complete set. Carter now starting to push the pace. Simon Whitfield trying to go with him. Brad Caulfield sitting into that group. Chris Gimmel hanging on, and Gimmel really struggling with a stomach problem over the last month, so I am impressed to see that man so far up on the course right now, as he has really struggled with his health. Robertson loves the heat and humidity. His small body deals with it extremely well, particularly in comparison to his competition. He's now up to about 24 seconds as Peter Robertson coming by the grandstands, and Simon Whitfield now trying to push the pace, and we know his running ability. Whitfield on the right side of the screen in the red outfit. Next to Whitfield, Rito Hugh. Just behind him, that's Cedric Fleuriton. Brad Caulfield in the green Australian uniform trying to chase down Peter Robertson as Robertson comes through the stadium, one of the few places that you get a reprieve from the direct sunlight. It is incredibly hot out as the pavement's starting to melt for the men. Rito Hugh showing his fantastic form as he's moving through as well, but Peter Robertson accelerating around each and every corner. He looks over his shoulder, realizes that he's getting a gap, and it's now Brad Caulfield's turn to try to bring back the Australian. Caulfield, the past winner of the World 23 and Under Championships. He has had an unbelievable season. A member of the Australian Institute of Sport, has worked very, very closely with that organization to try to get himself back into the top 3 or 4 men in the world. And right now he is chasing down Peter Robertson, who is showing the fatigue and exertion right now of having redlined, and he told me he had a maximum of 1 hour in his body, and he just hoped he'd get to the finishing line before he used up that 1 hour of redline. Caulfield, fantastic form in the last month. He's been on the podium at the World Cup race in Tisavaras in that almost dead tie with the past world champion Dimitri Gag from Kazakhstan. As we now look back to Robertson, he'll be coming into the stadium. One more lap to go here. The angle of his head starting to show the fatigue. You can see Peter Robertson really starting to fatigue right now. Robertson coming into the grandstand area. He'll have one more lap to go here at the 2005 ITU World Championships. A now clear, defined breakaway has happened through. Rito Hugh, Brad Caulfield coming through. Caulfield, the World 23 and Under champion in 2002, the Oceania champion last year, second in Tisavaras. He has really come into his own, proving the Australians have such a deep group of athletes. And you take a look back to that unbelievable sprint finish with Dimitri Gag and those who could debate for hours who actually won this race. Both men virtually hitting the finishing line simultaneously, diving across the line, but the video camera is giving it to Dimitri Gag. But right now, the two-time world champion, Peter Robertson, trying to clearly move in to the second-best world championship record ever behind the great Simon Lessing, who has 4 world titles. And as we look back right now, Peter Robertson is trying to hang on, and you can see the exertion in his face. This is a man who would desperately love to go from not even being on the team to adding a 3rd world championship title, but Rito Hugh is starting to force the pace. Hugh and Brad Caulfield have now dropped Hamish Carter. It's down to just 3 men, less than a kilometer from the finishing line. Peter Robertson trying desperately now to just lift those arms and legs, but you can see the fatigue. His arms are not nearly coming up. Rito Hugh trying to make that move. Hugh in a fantastic position as he is now up onto the toes and sprinting. Rito Hugh, the man that has been to 2 Olympic Games, has had almost a season and a half of injuries and not in the great form, but this year he has come back with a vengeance. Robertson now, 100 meters to go to the finishing line. It looks like he has timed his energy and that red line ability to the finest as Peter Robertson coming to the finishing line, and Rito Hugh will have timed it just a little short. Robertson will claim his 3rd world championships here in Gamagori, Japan. That is unbelievable as he goes down to the pavement. Rito Hugh, your silver medalist on the day, and Australia showing their domination once again as Brad Caulfield will claim the bronze medal. There will be 2 Australian men on the podium, but the unbelievable breakthrough, Peter Robertson with another world championship title. Hamish Carter in 4th, adding to his brilliant career. Frederick Bellerbe has run through Simon Whitfield for 5th. Whitfield, the gold medalist from 2000, a very solid 6th place finish as the man from Victoria, British Columbia crosses the line, but the crowd absolutely loves Peter Robertson, and how can't you love that kind of a storybook day? He came here not in great form, wasn't on the team just 2 weeks ago, got a final minute call because of an illness to Simon Thompson and to Craig Walton, and the Australians will celebrate once again as Caulfield and Peter Robertson take 1st and 3rd here at the 2005 World Championships. Rito Hugh having an unbelievable silver medal day, and Peter Robertson showing the emotions now of what has been an absolutely breakthrough event. Robertson showing the emotion as he has absolutely spent himself out on that course today.
Today was something special. It wasn't a physical performance. It was more than that. It was emotional. I had to dig deep. I've never hurt like that before. I was absolutely exhausted coming down the finish chute. I just didn't want to get past. It meant too much to me today, and I'm really glad I hung on for a amazing victory.
It was a perfect day. Everything was working well, and I'm really happy with 2nd.
5K into it, I thought, bugger this, I'm going to try and get this Robbo, and I shook him up halfway through, but Robbo was just too strong today. I mean, the guy's an absolute champion. He's 3 times world champion. I mean, he's going to go down in history as one of the best, and 3rd place in the world, I can't believe it.
I've learned a lot this year about winning, losing, family, friends, life, death. So every day is special, and every day with my family is even more special. I knew I could do it. I knew it would be tough. I guess I wanted it more than anyone else.
And the World Cup points, Hunter Kemper remains #1, Caulfield moving up to #2, and Tindon in #3 as the season continues on to the World Cup race in Beijing, China. But really, there is nothing like the magic of Peter Robertson. Was ill, broke some ribs earlier on in the season, missed the fitness he needed, had an absolutely average World Cup season. Peter Robertson getting the shower that he greatly deserves from Rito Hugh and Brad Caulfield. It will be a celebration tonight for Peter Robertson from Australia.